All right, for our second part of the ascending rule of the octave, we're going to talk about the ascending tetrachord, the sol, la, ti, do going up, and both the major and minor lengths, the sol, la, ti, do. By the way, it would have been very easy to have done that do, re, mi, fa, sol, the ascending pentachord. We totally could have done the minor. We would have just gone do, re, mi, fa, sol going up. The voice that went sol, 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 la, sol would go sol, 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 la, sol. And basically any place you have a la, you replace it with a la. Anytime you had a mi, you would replace it with a mi, and bam, we have minor. Of course, we use harmonic minor for harmonies, so we would have kept the do, ti, do. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ascending tetrachord. And this looks, the same in both major and in minor, except, whether you end on a do, mi, sol or do, mi, sol. So to the whiteboard, I've kept some of our notes from our previous video, things that we learned about from the rule of the octave. Do and sol are our points of stability. Take the 5/3 chord, the chord of the fifth. We had our in-between chords take some type of a variation of the chord of the sixth. And we could have done the very simple version where the re, mi, and fa were all 6/3 chords. Or we could do the more deluxe version where we used dissonances. And so we used the upward dissonance, the 6/5 on the fa, right before we hit the sol 5/3. That 6/5 lux resolve up to the 5/3. And we learned about that passing dissonance chord, the 6/4/3, in between the do and the mi, and that showed up very nicely. Now I don't have that happening in my ascending tetrachord, so we're not going to worry about that right now, but let's take a look at our ascending tetrachord. So of course we're coming up the bass, sol, la, ti, do. Let's get our marker, and up the bass, sol, la, ti, do. And we already know our points of stability, 5/3, and our points of instability, or places of motion. We're going to put the chord of the motion. The chord of the sixth is going to take us through that. So we're just going to put a nice 6/3 here, and a nice 6/3 there. And now we could put in the voice leading, the 3-voice writing that we did with the rule of the octave some time ago. And so we have this lovely voice, sol, fa, sol, mi, with that sixth leaping down to the third for the discant cadence at the end. And our parallel thirds voice, ti, do, re, do. And that was a beautiful 3-part writing. And you can see, in fact, that, again, I left off my fifth on my 5/3 chords. The fifth is implied by the overtone series. But there's my third, there's my third, there's my sixth, there's my sixth. Sounds absolutely fantastic. Of course, we also recognize there are some zons involved. There's a cantizans, ti, do. There's a tenorizans, re, do. There's an altizans, sol, mi. I could do the other version of the altizans. Instead of going sol, mi, we could go fa, mi. And of course, when I do that, sol, fa, fa, mi. Ti to fa is no longer 6. Ti, do, re, mi, fa is a fifth. Asterisk, because it's not a real fifth. Ti to fa is the tritone. It's the fake fifth, the false fifth, or the diminished fifth. And so this is not a stable 5/3 chord. This is an unstable 5/3 chord. That's cool. We have 5/3 chords that are dissonances. Actually, technically, the fa to the do, that do is an unstable do in the fa 6/5 chord, or the fa 5/3 chord. So we've been seeing these unstable fifths. That's cool. Even a perfect fifth can be unstable in the right circumstances. That's the power of horizontal lines, of melodic lines there. Good. So once again, as was the case with my fa, right before I hit the sol, I had the fa 6/3 going to sol 5/3, or it could be a fa 5/3 going to sol 5/3. We have the 6/3 or 5/3 situation. And the reason we have that, of course, is because what we really have going on is that we have, come up here, let's change from the rule of the octave of the tetrachord here. Look at this. Once again, I'm going to put chords of motion in between. La, and T. Take chords of the sixth. But more specifically, we're going to put an upward dissonance. And so right before I hit the 5-3, so if my Do is my 5-3, right before I hit it, we're going to hit a T6-5. So not just the fifth, not just the sixth, but the 6 and the 5. And of course, as we said, it can appear as a 6-3, or it can appear as a 5-3, or it can show up in its full version as the 6-5-3. And that's why that fifth is unstable, it's part of the dissonance of the implied missing 6, the 6-5-3 there. And so once again, we're seeing that point of instability, the upward resolving dissonance. 6-5-3 happens right before we step up to the 5-3. It happened Fa 6-5 going to Sol 5-3. It happens on T6-5 going to Do 5-3. And then literally everything else we could put a 6-3 on. Or I could do the more interesting 6-4-3 on that Re. That's a cool place to put that. All right, so let's add a fourth voice in here. You know, I would love to go Sol, La, Sol, Sol. That'd be a wonderful voice here. There's a problem with that, right? Because if I try to write that Sol, La, Sol, Sol. I'd love to do this because, you know, I have Sol, Sol as my boring altisons with my regular altisons and the tenorisons and the cantizons. That'd be my instinct to go with that thing. But oh no. Sol, La, Sol, La. I just wrote parallel fifths. Okay. Oh, what if instead of going La, Sol, I went Fa? Oh, no, I can't do that because Sol, Fa, Sol, Sol would give me, no. It would give me parallel octaves with the soprano. So I can't quite do that. As I erase this, I suddenly see my solution. Voice exchange. Sol, La, Ti in the bass. Ti, La, Sol up top. Okay, so let's steal this T from the Ti, Do, Re, Do voice. And let's give it here. Sol, La, Ti, Ti, La, Sol, Sol. There we go. Fantastic. I've got my fifth there. I'm not missing that chord there. I've got all parts of the 6-5-3 there. I'm missing my fifth here. So instead of going Ti, Do, Re, Do, we just go Re, Do, Re, Do. And there's a nice little stepwise motion line there. And so this is our ascending tetrachord of the rule of the octave. So if we put the whole thing together, do the full rule of the octave. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. And let's just erase all of our voice thing stuff here and reconstruct the rule of the octave from memory. And we'll just voice lead it as well. Good. Okay, rule of the octave from memory. Simple. Points of stability. Start with your points of stability. 5-3 on the Do, 5-3 on the Sol. All right. Second thing, we're going to remember our upward resolving dissonances. And that is right before I hit the 5-3, we're going to put in upward resolving dissonances here. So I'm going to put a 6-5 on the Fa and a 6-5 on the Ti. There's our upward resolving dissonances. That's how I like to remember the rule of the octave. If I wanted to, I could literally put 6-3s on everything else. But it's more interesting to, on that Do, Re, Mi, do the 6-4-3 there. And that's just a great place to have the 6-4-3, that upward or downward resolving dissonance. It goes up or down. And that's my special thing I remember. So, construction, Do, Sol, 5-3. Upward resolving dissonance on Fa and Ti. We put our 6-5. I'm going to remember I've got that special 6-4-3 on Re. And I'm just going to slap a 6-3 on the other notes, which Mi and La are the only things left. And so there's the construction of the full rule of the octave. Let's voice lead it. It doesn't really matter where we start with this. Let's start on how about Mi in the melody, and maybe do underneath it, and then a sol. All right, let's do our voice leadings. Do, ti, do, do, ti. Good. Mi, fa, mi, re, re. And sol, 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 la, sol. The most boring line of everything there. But you notice I'm not thinking necessarily counting intervals, both the bass and things. I know my voice leading lines, and that's how I recommend you learn the rule of the octaves, to remember your voice leading lines. Good. And then let's bring it home at the end. Re, do, re, do. Voice exchange. Sol, la, ti, ti, la, sol, sol. And then our other thing coming down. We just bring in our other thing. Sol, fa, fa, mi. And by thinking of my voice leading lines, mi, fa, mi, re, re, and re, do, and do, ti, and ti, la, sol, 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 la, sol, and sol, fa, fa, mi. We can really quickly voice together a 4-part realization of the rule of the octave. And you can use bits of this anytime you have a bass line going up. So if I was writing something that went mi, fa, sol, I could totally just slap 6-3, 6-5, 5-3. Do. Do, mi, fa, sol. Sol, la, ti, do, sol. How do I know? 5-3. 5-3, 5-3, 6-5, 6-3. And so your composers of the common practice era just knew their rule of the octave. And this is, like I said, the key to really knowing harmony. We'll learn about some color substitutes as well, but this is a good start.